Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday, May 21st edition of Keystroke Live, where today we're going to talk about Keystroke Express and using the Express toolbars and interface with other versions of Keystroke. Just wanted something we wanted people to be aware of. Remember, same login information every Wednesday at 10 o'clock for Keystroke Live. I am going to go ahead and mute everyone so there's not too much background noise as I'm talking. It won't be too long, and then I will unmute at the end for questions. So some key things about Keystroke Express I wanted to make everyone understand is that Express is kind of a subset of Keystroke. So when you install Keystroke, you get all of Keystroke Express with it. Therefore, as dealers, your own installations, you should never really use our Express setup, the Keystroke setup that just installs Express, because it installs fewer files than when you install Keystroke completely. We've put in some safeguards into that setup. It basically looks on your computer for keystroke.exe and will bail out if it finds that, because what we're concerned with is, say you have Keystroke version 715 build 42 installed on a computer, and you download that Express setup and install it, you will get 3/4 of the files updated to 715 build 50, but you'll still have some files there remaining that would be from that 715 42. So you end up with a mixed matched installation, and we don't really want that. The Keystroke Express installation program, or expresssetup.exe, is designed for an end user that's just going to be exclusively running Keystroke Express. It's simpler, smaller, different shortcuts get installed, so you get the Express shortcut and you don't get the Keystroke POS or advanced POS icon set up. But you can always just install the regular old Keystroke setup and plug in a product ID for Express, and it will be licensed as Express. Some things that go along with that I want to remind you of is that you can't mix and match Express and then Keystroke POS or advanced POS on the same store installation. Keystroke is downward compatible, meaning if you have advanced or Keystroke POS, you can run Express POS, but you can't buy an Express POS and run it on the same set of data as advanced, because you can't mix and match those licenses. So if you want to have a server and workstations, you have to buy Keystroke workstations, and you can run those as Express or use the Express toolbars, and that's kind of what I'm talking about here today. So just be aware that when you install Keystroke, when you update Keystroke, you're also getting the Keystroke Express. Best way to start that is if what I can do, and I'll show you the properties if I can get this shared here properly. So now you should see that. And here in my Keystroke directory, I'm running express.exe and looking at my tutor data. So I have Keystroke Advanced POS installed, but I'm just using express.exe to start this. Now, I could run keystroke.exe, put a space, and then after that you could put run as equals express POS, and it basically does the same thing, but this is really a better way of doing it, just running the express.exe rather than the keystroke.exe. So I am going to go ahead and start up that express.exe and be sure to get it shared here. So here I am licensed for Keystroke Advanced POS. I'm starting Keystroke with express.exe, and so I get and there I'm not getting my Express toolbars. If I go into the configuration manager of Keystroke, probably had it changed in my ini files. I am, yeah, this is Express because I can't change it. When you're running Express, like if I go in the database manager here and look at my inventory, when I run Express.exe, I get the Express database screens. I don't get the regular keystroke interface. Now, the other way to use the Express toolbars is, and I'm going to pull open the just a regular keystroke POS. So now if I get switched to there, here we go. So now this is just regular Keystroke Advanced POS. I can go into the Configuration Manager and under Settings here and Appearance, I can change the toolbar file to the Express toolbars. Now I'm using the Express toolbars, and if I go into the Sales Manager, so I have that look and feel of Express. I can pop up the keyboard, but I do also have, if I hit F3 to edit that, I've got my standard keystroke database screens and all the keystroke functionality. So when would you start Keystroke and use the Express toolbars versus starting Express.exe? Well, Express.exe gives you some limitation, and that is good and bad. So if you're trying to restrict what somebody can do at a workstation, you can start Express. They have limited access to the database information. There's accounts receivable functionality is less. They can't accidentally enter a sales order because all of that is disabled. So if you want just a simple transaction entry, starting that Express.exe is a good option. If you want to use the toolbars, I'll hit Escape to get out of the screen. If you want to use the Express toolbars but still have all that functionality that is built into Keystroke POS and Advanced, you can just swap the toolbar file. Now that toolbar file is just something we've created and edited. You can change it. Remember, you can right-click and I can select Edit button, and I could change the color, I could change the wording, I could make it automatically add an item. So you can go ahead and edit that and create your own toolbar, give it its own name, and use that. So you can take this Express toolbar and modify it or use it as a starting point for something that you're using in Keystroke POS as well as in Keystroke Express. It's got the handy little main menu pop up down here. So there's quite a few things you can do. When you're using this Express toolbars, it ends up putting it in an ini file. There's toolbar file equals, and this is tbexpress.dat or exp.dat. So you can use that ini file to specify different toolbars, or again, you can just start it with that express.exe. So the big points I was trying to make here, one is that you as a dealer never really need to install the Express setup. You get everything you need when you install Keystroke. You can create extra icons for Express. You can have sets of data for Express. You don't want to get a mixed matched installation. Some Keystroke files of one version and Express files of a more recent version. Also remember, all the KeyPay and Keymail information is installed with both of those as well. If you are using KeyPay as a service, you do need to run that KeyPay installation that'll basically set up the service so it automatically starts every time you turn on your computer. So those are the differences between the Keystroke installation and the Express installation. Also remember that the licensing is downward compatible. If you have advanced, you can run Express, but you can't use Express as a workstation on a store that's using advanced. There are a lot of possibilities with Keystroke Express. You can use it in simple stores. We've got bottle deposit options in there, so you can use it in liquor stores or small convenience stores. And then you can use simplified workstations with your keystroke installation by using these toolbars that are editable. You can give them your own name, lay them out. It's a lot easier to take one of our existing toolbars and modify parts of it than to kind of try to create a toolbar from scratch. So with that, I am going to unmute everyone. That is information on Keystroke Express POS and how to use the Express toolbars with Keystroke Advanced POS or Keystroke POS. And I am going to, now I've got everybody unmuted. So does anyone have any questions on this? On Express or installing it or selling it? You know, we want to give people, don't want dealers to sell Express rather than Keystroke, but if somebody balks at price or they're looking for an entry level, we feel this is a great option and another good arrow in your quiver of Keystroke products. So any questions at all? All right. Well, next week, this is kind of May is Keystroke Express month. So next week we will have Mike Tabor talking about the dealer deliverable enhancements, ways to add a feature here or there if somebody really needs it to Express to help close that sale. So be sure to tune in 10 a.m. next Wednesday, and thank you for attending.